Hello, so this is just a super quick video. I've been receiving so much this morning and it really felt like there was a lot coming through that needed to be shared in terms of collective energies, in terms of, a sort of deeper collective message of the undercurrents and everything that's kind of going on right now. There's a lot of intensity, this is the time that we live in, and there's a lot of things going on right now in relation to Atlantis, in relation to AI and the reinitiations that we are going through around that. And this is a cycle that is going to be going on for a while. It's not like we're reaching any kind of sense of closure around this. However, especially individual roles that people held within Atlantis are really starting to come to light of like, okay, well, where was your energy at that time? Where's your energy now? We're seeing a lot of timeline splintering, okay? If you're just walking outside at the moment, you know that there is this huge timeline shift that is happening. And what has, when I'm reading it energetically, it looks like a splintering is happening. It literally looks like the timelines are splintering, and that's because what is organic and what is inorganic is the gap between that is becoming so apparent and so wide that it's becoming a lot more obvious where we are choosing to place our energies, where people are choosing to place their energies. And this isn't coming from a place of like duality of us and them. It can be very easy within various spiritual new age communities to fall into that line of thinking. That's not helpful. That keeps those grids in place even more. And alongside that, we can recognize this from a place of higher understanding, from a place of going, okay, I can see this split happening. It doesn't mean it's an us and them situation. It just means this is what is occurring, and honoring where we are within that, and honoring other people's journeys and processes and choices ultimately, because this all comes down to choice. It's like, how do you want to live? How do you want to live your life? Who do you want to be? Do you want to submit to an inorganic AI force which has existed for a very, very long time? Or do you want to align yourself with God, with source, with, whatever way you might choose to describe that? And what we're really seeing right now is that gap widening. And for me this week, that's really been playing out. I've noticed that I've been put in certain situations and just my presence, just my energy has been triggering to some people, because we're on different timelines, we're making different choices. And so the light can be this reflective force which triggers the unhealed, which triggers the wounding, which triggers the way people are not, or shines a light upon the way people are not doing that inner work, are not really looking deep within themselves. And this morning, when I say the ancestors came through so strong, oh my God, of course our ancestors are always around us, but there are some very potent wisdom keeper codes which are coming through, which have held these new earth codes for so long, and they are coming through right now and showing up to people who are ready to really receive them and to start being able to share them more widely. Since Pluto moved into Aquarius, I have been receiving the most fascinating information on the new earth, and really being able to see it so clearly, being able to see structures falling and kind of where they're going to be in the next sort of 50 to 100 years. And I'd need to put together a lot of information to really do it justice in a video. So maybe, if I feel called a little later down the line when I'm not doing so much stuff, I may do that because it's really interesting. And if you're someone that enjoys reading timelines, if you're not already doing it, you will find it absolutely fascinating to see the way in which humanity is heading over this next little while. And just another message was coming through about how there are so many agendas within the New Age, ufology kind of communities to make you think that being human is not cool, to make you think that being on this earth is not cool, to make you think that it is like boring, that there's so much other stuff going on in other parts of the cosmos. And the message coming through is just like, do you know how amazing it is to be human? Do you think about that? Do you honor that? Do you respect that within yourself? Because this is such a magical, amazing, interdimensional, earthly and cosmic experience. And there is so much magic that can be performed within the human form, okay? It's not like everything else is going on out there and we're not experiencing magic here. That's just not true. And so, if you found yourself kind of plugging into those grids of like, oh, I wish I was somewhere else, that's an agenda. That is part of an agenda to disconnect you from yourself, to disconnect you from your divine essence. And so if you find that is where you are, call that energy back, call your energy back, unplug, literally imagine yourself unplugging from that grid, because when you're plugged into it, it opens up so many different avenues for other things to be able to try and access you. Because, remembering that so many different entities, they want a form, they want a human form, and so it serves them to make you think that your form is not cool, because then you disconnect, and guess who steps in? Guess who gets to access you in a different way, gets to access your light and your soul essence. So just being really, really aware of that. We are in such a time where there's so much like pressure and so much transformation and death and rebirth occurring. And so just really honoring where we're all at with that, where we're all experiencing that on some level. And really the message around like protection is important right now. And I'll never be one of those people that's like, urgent, you must do this, urgent, you must do that. That's not the energy I like to bring. This is not coming from a place of fear. This is coming from a place of just like honoring yourself as this sacred, divine, beautiful being, and just knowing that sometimes when you have a bright light, things can be drawn to it like moth to the flame, like flies to, so just being aware of that, and just, doing certain things like whether it's veiling, certain essential oils, little protection spells, things like that are just so powerful, and not coming at it from a place of fear, but from a place of love. So thank you for listening. This is just a short broadcast that just really wanted to come through. And take care, look after yourselves. Goodbye.